Coming up on News 2 at 11 today, Nashville begins the mayor's rule of 8 ahead of Thanksgiving gatherings. We look at the additional impact this will have on small business. Also this week, the state beefing up testing in rural counties. We'll have the details on that. And a new bill proposes giving parents the choice if their kids should get a COVID vaccine. Lawmakers hope it changes a pandemic requirement.
And we have a risk to see a few strong to severe storms on Wednesday. The timeline you need to know coming up at 11.
Start your day with Good Morning Nashville.
When you're up, Good Morning Nashville is on.
Now, News 2 at 11.
All right, and welcome to News 2 at 11, Monday edition. I'm Orne.
And I'm Nickelle Smith. Happy Monday, everybody. Let's check in with meteorologist Meaghan Thomas.
All right, let's do it. Okay, so here's what it looks like right now. Murfreesboro sitting at 47 degrees. We've got a mix of sun and clouds as you're stepping out for lunch. So things are still rather chilly this morning. But the good news is we are quiet and clear as far as rain is concerned. High pressure going to keep us dry today, but that does break down as we head through the next 24 to 48 hours. We're going to see another cold front swing across the state and give us the potential to see a few storms in here on Wednesday, some of which we'll have to watch to see if they turn severe. Temperatures right now sitting at about 46 degrees in Lebanon, 47 in Murfreesboro. Cookeville still hanging on to 39 in Putnam County. Quite cool. Paris sitting at 50. We're at 50 in Bowling Green as well. Downtown sitting at 48. Temperatures this afternoon going to gradually climb to the low to mid 50s across the state. I expect us to stay below average today and a warming trend beginning tomorrow. And again, by the time Wednesday gets here, we do have the risk to see a few stronger storms, and we'll time those out for you coming up next.
Police in Nashville are searching for several people involved in a drive-by shooting in the 12 South area that happened this morning. Josh Breslow is at the WKRN.com alert desk.
Yeah, good morning. So no people were actually hit by the bullets, but 2 SUVs were struck. Again, no injuries, though. The bullets were fired, we're told, around 5:45 this morning in the area of Belmont and Rosewood. That's less than a half mile south of the Belmont University campus. It's in the 12 South neighborhood. Witnesses did report seeing those gunshots fired from a dark SUV with at least 3 young men inside. Now, at this point, no arrests have been made, so police are asking anyone with information to call Nashville Crime Stoppers. That number, of course, 615-74-CRIME. We have just posted all this information on our website. Head over to WKRN.com to read more. Neil.
Happening today, the rule of 8 is now in effect in Davidson County. Julia Palazzo is live with more on what this new rule includes, and she joins us now.
Yeah, gatherings limited to 8 people, whether it's public or private, indoor or outdoor, but it doesn't change how restaurants have been operating here at Puckett's and all restaurants in Davidson County. They've had to limit seating to 8 people per table, but the owner here does tell us that they have seen a slowdown over the last couple of weeks ahead of the Thanksgiving holiday. But it is good news for their takeout business, with many people choosing to stay home this year. Most customers they've ever had as far as ordering takeout. Dessert orders have doubled, and they are on track to sell more than 500 turkeys. However, they're still welcoming guests into the restaurant. Normally would be about 450 people throughout the day, but this year just a little more than 200 spread out over 3 reservation times. Hospitality employees are hoping people follow the guidelines to avoid going back even further.
I just feel if they feel that that's necessary, then we need to do whatever to make everybody feel safe and comfortable coming back to the restaurants. We just want to get everything back to normal as fast as possible. So if we have to cut it back to ensure that, then we're happy to do it.
Yeah, a lot of people making adjustments, including restaurants, ahead of the holiday. Now, the mayor says that you could still apply to host a large gathering or a gathering of more than 25 people through the Metro Public Health Department, but says because of the surge, it will be more difficult to get approval for the foreseeable future. Reporting live in downtown Nashville, Julia Palazzo, News 2.
There will be expanded COVID-19 testing in some rural areas around Middle Tennessee. Elizabeth Lane is live this morning in Williamson County with more on the efforts there to get people tested ahead of Thanksgiving. Elizabeth.
And Nickelle, the line here at the Williamson County Agricultural Center is moving slowly but steadily. In fact, this is probably one of the busier days we have seen here at this testing site throughout the entire pandemic. This comes as the state is pushing COVID-19 testing ahead of Thanksgiving. As we know, the CDC is recommending celebrating with immediate family only. They recommend avoiding travel. However, that could be a very tough decision or not an option for some people. So I've spoken with some some who say they are taking advantage of free testing, and a negative test will give them peace of mind Thursday as they spend time with relatives. Williamson County's testing site is one of 35 with extended hours today. They'll be open until 5 tonight, and those extended hours may continue through the holiday season.
And a lot of people are just wanting to make sure that they are negative before seeing their family members.
And many testing centers will be closed for the Thanksgiving holiday. Local and state leaders are hoping that people will take advantage of this opportunity. Reporting live in Williamson County, Elizabeth Lane, News 2.
A proposed bill would allow parents to refuse to get their kids vaccinated for COVID-19. Tennessee law currently allows parents to cite several exemptions to not immunize their children, but those don't apply during a pandemic. However, the proposed bill would allow parents to cite, quote, right of conscience as a reason not to get their kids vaccinated. Lawmakers won't consider the proposal, though, until the General Assembly convenes in January. New this morning, Mayor John Cooper's office released a report from the Policing Policy Commission. The commission was created in August in response to a call for cities to reimagine policing and review their use of force policies. The commission came up with 4 desired results they're seeking from Metro Police. They'd like police to collaborate with residents and other community groups. They'd like the police force to be better reflective of the diversity of the city it serves. They'd like to eliminate disparities in the use of force and issue regular reports around the use of force. For a look at the commission's full report, just head to our website, WKRN.com.
A person is dead after a crash in Perry County. Highway Patrol telling us that one car was involved in the crash on Hurricane Creek Road southeast of Linden. William Hickerson was killed and 2 other passengers, including a minor, were taken to the hospital. Authorities are investigating just how it happened.
Neil, this morning, Nashville gas prices are down by about a penny in the last week. Gas Buddy says that the average price in Nashville now stands at $1.86 per gallon. That's down about 10 cents per gallon compared to last month. And that's down 47 cents compared to last year. Nationally, gas is selling for about $2.10 per gallon right now on average. General Motors is being forced to recall nearly 6 million pickup trucks and SUVs equipped with the potentially dangerous Takata airbag inflators. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, announced the move today. GM has asked them to avoid a recall 4 times since 2016 because they say the inflators are safe. The move could cost GM more than $1 billion. 27 people around the world have been killed after those inflators exploded, sending shrapnel into drivers and passengers. GM now has 30 days to give NHTSA a proposed schedule for that beginning the recall.
The president-elect is starting to pick top members of an administration. We'll tell you some of the people who will be serving in these posts. And coming up later, it is Christmas time at Dollywood. We'll tell you what you can see there coming up.
Meet the News 2 Educator of the Week Thursday on News 2 at 10 and Friday on News 2 This Morning at 6. News 2 Educator of the Week presented by the Tennessee Lottery.
Franktown Festival of Lights, a drive-through light spectacular.
We've been tracking severe weather in the tropics all year long.
Yeah, relentless. But right now we want to tell you about a cyclone swirling in an area that doesn't normally see this kind of weather. Kristina Shalhoup is here with a look at East Africa and tropical cyclone Gati.
Yeah, we're going global here. This is a very, very rare occurrence. You can see next to me, this is Gati after moving through Somalia, making landfall yesterday as the equivalent of a high-end Category 2 storm. This is the thing. This is the first storm of this strength to ever hit Somalia. Now, Somalia, for those of you who don't know, is a desert climate, so this is catastrophic for an area like that. You can see the storm is moving now into the Gulf of Aden, and it will dissipate a little bit, become a tropical depression as we move through the next day or so, but still that in a desert climate can do serious damage. In fact, it already has. Again, this is the first storm of this strength to hit Somalia. They saw incredibly damaging, dangerous winds, 110 miles an hour as the maximum sustained wind speed, and some very heavy rain. Now, I want to touch on the rainfall for a second because this is a very interesting and very dangerous factor of this storm. Somalia, again, a desert climate, parts of the country only see 2 inches of rain per year. Others see 8 inches. Compare that to what we see here in Middle Tennessee. Think about 8 inches of rain. That is nowhere near what we would see in a climate like ours. So you get places that saw 8 inches of rainfall in just 2 days. That fills up their year worth of rain. Some places even seeing 2 times the amount of yearly rainfall just in the span of 2 days. So it's a very odd scenario, very 2020. Hurricane season is not just bad here for Atlantic storms, but also looking at the Indian Ocean as well. It has been quite a crazy year for hurricanes. Guys.
Thanks so much for that information, Kristina. That is very interesting. Now, we have our own severe weather risk across Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky beginning on Wednesday. The timeline potentially could come in 3 separate rounds. The first round early in the morning, just some nice patchy rain. By the middle of the afternoon, you could see another round of some isolated showers and potentially storms come through. And then the one that I'm most concerned about is the one in the afternoon during the peak heating of the day. That's the one that we are going to have to watch to see if we could see any isolated spin-up tornadoes. And of course, we'll explain what this means and what you can expect for Thanksgiving coming up next.
All right, President-elect starting to name top members of administration. We'll let you know who he'll be nominating for some important positions coming up.
And stick around if you want to win free tickets to see Franktown's Festival of Lights. We'll give you the cue to call in and win. Later this hour, don't go anywhere.
Prepared for Middle Tennessee's unpredictable weather. The News 2 Storm Tracker. Local weather coverage you can count on.
All right, President-elect Joe Biden continues building out an incoming administration despite President Trump still not refusing to cooperate with the formal transition process.
Yeah, Faith Abubey has more on how he's expected to start naming some key members of his cabinet.
The incoming administration quickly taking shape this week as President-elect Joe Biden begins naming some of the heads of key federal agencies. ABC News learning as soon as Tuesday, Biden will nominate longtime aide Anthony Blinken as Secretary of State. Blinken comes with an extensive background in foreign policy dating back to the Clinton State Department and was Deputy Secretary of State under President Obama. Also in the wings, Linda Thomas Greenfield, who sources tell ABC News Biden will name as UN ambassador. Greenfield is a retired Foreign Service officer with decades of diplomatic experience. The president-elect also indicating other announcements like his Treasury Secretary are on the way.
You'll find it is someone who I think will be accepted by all elements of the Democratic Party.
This as President Trump still refuses to publicly acknowledge the outcome of the presidential election. And now, with a Biden presidency just 58 days away, he instead is clinging to baseless voter fraud allegations that have largely failed in court. Over the weekend, a judge denying Trump's attempt to throw out millions of votes in Pennsylvania, adding the case lacks factual proof of rampant corruption.
The president's legal team has been a national embarrassment.
In an about phase, the president's campaign now trying to distance itself from Sidney Powell, who Trump previously said was part of his legal team. Powell has been attacking some Republicans while spreading wild conspiracy theories about the election. While the president's attempt to overturn the election falls apart, today, counties in Pennsylvania planning to certify their results. In Michigan, a vote on whether to certify or delay the process for an audit, a delay that could further draw out the formal transition process.
If the Trump administration positions, we're just supposed to trust them that this is all going to work out, I think that's a hard sell to the American people.
And a growing number of frustrated Republicans, including Senator Lisa Murkowski from Alaska and Maryland's Governor Larry Hogan, are joining the Biden team in urging the president to start the formal transition process. Faith Abubey, ABC News, Washington.
And the New York Times is now reporting that former Secretary of State John Kerry will serve as a special presidential envoy on climate change.
All right, if you're about to hit the roads and go get some lunch or whatever you got to do this time of day, 440 at Murphy Road. Lunch sounds good, doesn't it? Nice and clear here. Not too much going on either side of the roadway. Now, I will say we have had a bunch of bumps in the road this morning, especially looking at 24 north of the downtown loop. But otherwise, at the moment, It's just typical daytime traffic. Just a few extra folks downtown, a few extra folks traveling around Middle Tennessee, but no accidents, no breakdowns, a nice change from what we saw mid-morning. Now, as you can see, your drive times remain unaffected here in Murfreesboro to Nashville, 28 minutes. That is pretty good for this time of day. Goodlettsville, 12 minutes, 40 from Clarksville and Lebanon. You've got just under 40 minutes to get to the city. Don't forget, if you ever need updates when you're, well, let's say about to get in the car, but not quite behind the wheel just yet, download our app. It's the WKRN Weather and Traffic app. It's easy to use, it's free, and we go to send you updates all day long, just making sure that you guys get where you need to go on time. Megan.
All right, thanks so much, Kristina. 48 degrees right now in Mount Juliet. We are still rather chilly for this time of morning across Middle Tennessee in southern Kentucky. A good mix of sun and clouds if you are headed out to lunch here shortly. Looking back from our 2 Rivers Ford camera. So again, things are fairly quiet for now, and over the next 24 hours, they will stay quiet. But by the time Wednesday rolls around, we're going to be talking much more about the risk for storms. 48 degrees right now in town, 50 in Dixon, 48 or 48 this morning in Camden, 50 in Paris, 49 in Clarksville. Back over towards the plateau today, expect somewhere near 50 for those of you in Crossville, Livingston sitting at 52. Woodbury will be near 53. A little bit further west in Middle Tennessee, you will see temperatures hovering in the mid-50s for a lot of you, from Nashville to Franklin, back down to Lewisburg, sitting in between 54 and 55 degrees. And I think Camden and Waverly, you hover around 54 today. Hopkinsville, Kentucky, somewhere near 52, so a little bit cooler in southern Kentucky. Average high for this time of year is 57 degrees. Today, somewhere below that for sure across much of the state as that cold air has filtered onto the south and east. Tomorrow and Wednesday will be running above average. And on Wednesday, we're going to have to watch for the risk for some stronger storms. And then on Thursday, as you head into Thanksgiving, conditions will be much better. Now, here's the deal. For Wednesday afternoon, it's a marginal risk, level 1 out of level 5. Everyone along and west of I-65 needs to stay weather alert. And really, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you all of Middle Tennessee needs to stay weather alert. You could see really gusty winds beginning as early as tomorrow, and then those wind gusts on Wednesday could get up to 40 miles an hour in some locations. That could easily knock down trees. We know the deal around here. When we see some strong gusty winds, it can almost be just as bad as tornado damage. So we'll have to watch that very, very carefully. So right now would be a great time to download the WKRN weather app, and that way you have the forecast directly at your fingertips. So the rest of the afternoon here looks fine. I'm going to fast forward into Tuesday. A few clouds come through here on Tuesday afternoon, and then we're going to have to watch on Wednesday. The severe weather outlook really depends on how this rain behaves in the morning. If we see these big shields of showers move through, it's going to stabilize the air. If we continue to see breaks in these showers, we will have to watch for potential for the really strong storms to develop. There's enough shear in the air, there's enough spin in the atmosphere to get those brief, isolated tornadoes. And remember, this is a secondary severe weather season, so this isn't something that's unheard of. We can have tornadoes at any month of the year. This is 7 o'clock Wednesday morning. Again, I do think because this looks more like a linear feature, we'll be dealing with more straight line gusty winds. Nonetheless, don't let your guard down. Those could definitely cause severe thunderstorm warnings, so we'll have to watch for those as well. By 11 o'clock, this particular model has all the rain pushing off to the east fairly quickly. Now, some other models I've been looking at has this coming in separate waves, and by the time the afternoon rolls around, you may see some breaks in those clouds, allowing the instability to grow, meaning adding fuel to the fire, and we'll have to watch to see those storms potentially develop into something severe. But by the time Thursday gets here for Thanksgiving, conditions look great. We will begin to see the sun come out at times on Thursday and Friday before another round of storms possible through the weekend.
Grocery stores are busy this weekend ahead of Thanksgiving. We'll tell you what stores are doing to keep those shelves stocked up.
Everybody!
Teenage tantrums.
You suck!
Turned around.
It's like I black out and then there's someone telling me to say that.
New Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil, today at 3, followed by News 2 at 4. WKRN's Traffic Tracker, an interactive traffic map with up-to-the-minute traffic alerts to help you start your day stress-free. Brought to you by the Tennessee Lottery. TN Nation, Saturday night after the late news, only on News 2. Sponsored by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, reminding you to designate before you celebrate.
Our crews are hard at work across Middle Tennessee investigating issues impacting you and your family. Here's what we're working on for News 2 at 4.
Another record-breaking day of the pandemic, what we've uncovered with the latest COVID-19 data. Plus, a desperate plea from funeral homes, what they're asking families to stop doing.
Breaking news alerts and continuing team coverage later today on News 2 at 4.
Hi, Nickelle.
Hi.
We're 3 days away from Thanksgiving.
Yay!
And people were at the grocery store yesterday stocking up on what they need for the holiday. I joined them.
Including Neil getting all the elbow macaroni.
Oh.
Yeah. Jordan Brown has more on how retailers are keeping the shelves stocked.
This is the first Thanksgiving in recent memory that we're all experiencing during a pandemic. And between panic buying and Thanksgiving shopping, grocery stores are feeling the pressure.
It's that time of year again, the busiest time of year for grocery stores.
I think it was very crowded. The produce was really crowded, that section, and then the dairy.
And everybody has the same mindset, you know, this is the weekend before Thanksgiving, so let's stock up. And so everybody's buying for Thanksgiving, but there's not a lot to buy.
All this while stores are still trying to restock from pandemic panic buying.
They have completely reshifted how they produce things to try to catch up. And they're still having trouble.
In a statement, Kroger asks their customers to buy just what they need for that shopping trip. And it's the same message coming from the Tennessee Grocers Association.
People buying more than they need is only contributing to a problem that really shouldn't exist today. There is product coming behind the product that's just been bought off the shelves. Just maintain your regular shopping patterns and we shouldn't have a problem.
The empty shelves we saw back in March are a thing of the past. Distributors have been working hard to make sure of it. So if you don't see the item you need today, simply check back tomorrow.
It's Thanksgiving, not the apocalypse. Everybody will be okay.
Jordan Brown recording. Okay, check back tomorrow. A survey by market research firm Numerator showed that nearly 70% of Americans are changing their usual Thanksgiving plans. This has prompted many grocery chains to increase orders for smaller turkeys since many people will be holding smaller gatherings. Still the same amount of mouths to feed though, right?
Yep. And money, right?
Yep.
It's your money. It is 49 degrees this morning in Clarksville. If you're stepping out for lunch, things are still rather chilly in spots. We do have a few clouds making their way across the state, but we are dry today and dry tomorrow. The next risk for rain will get in here on Wednesday, and we'll time that up for you here in just minutes. But temperatures this afternoon, expect them to be in the low 50s up in Montgomery County.
News 2 is your local connection to Wheel of Fortune in Nashville.
Tonight.
You're watching News 2 at 11.
All right, welcome back to the second half of News 2 at 11. I'm Neil Orne.
And I'm Nickelle Smith. We're hanging out with meteorologist Meaghan Thomas, and not a bad start to the day.
Yeah, it was kind of chilly. Hey, guys. We saw temperatures mainly in the 30s. We're now in the mid 40s and potentially headed for those low 50s. But this is my favorite camera at lunchtime because you can see the rooftops and check people out having lunch. But it's really quiet this morning, and especially as we head through the afternoon, weather will stay quiet. We just have a few clouds around at this hour. High pressure going to keep us dry today and tomorrow. But by the time Wednesday gets here, you're going to need to stay weather alert as we could see some strong storms develop in advance of our next cold front. But in the short term, we're still pretty chilly. Check this out. Crossville at 43, Jamestown at 46, McMinnville 46, Lebanon sitting at 49. So as you head through the rest of the afternoon in Wilson County, you are going to stay pretty cool. Low to mid 50s expected. I do expect the sky to be partly cloudy as we head through the evening. Going to allow temperatures to tank back into the 30s early tomorrow morning. We do have the outline for Wednesday and when you can expect those storms coming up next.
All right, we want to pass along some new information on a fiery late night crash that happened in Rutherford County. Josh Breslow is at the WKRN.com alert desk.
Right, so we have learned that one person inside that burning vehicle was rushed to a hospital and now is expected to survive those injuries. Take a look, the update and the photo of the scene from Rutherford County Fire Rescue, a massive fire there after that crash. The department does say the driver crashed last night over on Florence Road in Rutherford County. That vehicle then caught fire. The person inside once again transported to a hospital for treatment of injuries, but the person's injuries are now not considered to be serious. The cause of that crash is still under investigation. So once we do get more details, we'll pass that along on air and on our website at WKRN.com. guys.
All right, Josh, and happening today, more rules go into effect in Nashville. The mayor says to try and slow the spread of COVID. Julia Palazzo's live with more on the new Rule of 8.
Yeah, gatherings limited to just 8 people, whether it's indoor or outdoor, public or at home ahead of Thanksgiving. Now, that doesn't change things as far as restaurants go. Restaurants here like Puckett's, they've had to limit seating to 8 people per table for the last several weeks. But because of the surge, they have definitely noticed a slowdown as far as dine-in services go ahead of the Thanksgiving holiday over the last couple of weeks. The owner here says that there have been some up and downs at all locations throughout this pandemic, and they have brought most of their employees back, but about half have chosen not to. They say loyal customers have continued to support them by tipping generously and ordering often, but they will serve about 200 people instead of the normal 400 on Thanksgiving Day. Many have opted, though, to order takeout this year.
We've had a great for our Thanksgiving orders coming in. This is probably the biggest year we've had for that, so it's been really amazing how many people have supported businesses this year.
Yeah, and she also says that they have doubled their dessert orders, more than 500 turkeys going home with families this year, and they will be serving people in-house on the day of as well. So as far as applying to host a larger gathering, which Metro Public Health has allowed people to do for a couple of months now, you can still do that, but Mayor Cooper did warn that it is going to be much more difficult to get approval for a large gathering amid the COVID-19 surge for the foreseeable future. Reporting live in downtown Nashville, Julia Palazzo, News 2.
Testing is being expanded in rural areas across Tennessee ahead of Thanksgiving. Elizabeth Lane is live in Williamson County this morning with more on the impact the virus is having on rural hospitals. Elizabeth.
And Nickelle, here at the Williamson County Agricultural Center, the line is moving slowly but surely. We are seeing, in fact, a big turnout, one of the busier days that we have seen here throughout this whole pandemic. This comes, of course, as the state is pushing COVID-19 testing ahead of Thanksgiving. We know the CDC is recommending celebrating with immediate family only and avoiding travel. However, that could be a very tough decision or just not an option for some people. So I've spoken with some who say they are taking advantage of this free testing, and that negative test will give them peace of mind Thursday. Williamson County's testing site is one of 35 with extended hours, and they'll be open until 5 o'clock tonight.
A lot of people, whether they're traveling or not, are just wanting to, be rest assured that they're not carrying something into another person's household, right? Especially if you're traveling. And Thanksgiving is one of those holidays where we all like to gather together. And obviously, during a pandemic, that can bring on some issues, depending on if you have family members that are high risk, or you have a really large family that you're wanting to go see.
And county and state leaders are hoping people will take advantage of these extended hours. It appears that it's been very popular, and so they say they'll look at the numbers later, and they may even consider offering extended hours through the holiday season. Reporting live in Williamson County, Elizabeth Lane, News 2.
Starting today, 2 new testing locations are available in Nashville. Connectus Health will offer free curbside testing. One location is at Connectus's Vine Hill Clinic on Benton Avenue. The other is at the Priest Lake Clinic on Murfreesboro Pike. We hear from VUMC, Vanderbilt University Medical Center, about their efforts to maintain available hospital beds. They released a statement to us saying, quote, while space is tight in our adult hospital, we continue to have capacity. They added that a limited number of beds are being readied in the Children's Hospital for any kids that may need treatment for non-COVID-19 related reasons.
New this morning, an elementary school at Fort Campbell will be closed for the next 2 days. Barkley Elementary School is being closed due to COVID-19 related cases and close contacts. Affected individuals have been notified. The school will reopen for in-person classes a week from today.
We have a crime tracker alert. This is Hendersonville. Police are looking for 2 men that stole a wallet from a woman's purse. They released this surveillance video of the crime taking place. They say that one distracts the woman while the other goes into the purse for the wallet. A short time later, 2 women tried to use the victim's credit card for a purchase valued at more than $2,000. They have released another video of the car that was used here. Tough to make out, but you can contact Hendersonville Police if you can help them with the case. It's that time of year. Be extra careful shopping. TDOT says that they'll be halting lane closures to accommodate holiday travel. They say that all lane closures on interstates and state highways will be stopped starting at noon on Wednesday and continuing through Monday morning. TDOT says Thanksgiving is typically the most traveled holiday of the year. The Titans picked up an important win over the Ravens yesterday. We'll have more on where they go from here coming up. And we are giving you the opportunity to win tickets to see Franktown's Festival of Lights. Now is the time to call 615-737-2222. The 22nd caller is our winner. For the most local stories right here in Middle Tennessee,
just like this one was. Watch News 2. Local coverage you can count on.
Titans did pick up a big win over the Ravens on the road. The Titans trailed at halftime, but mounted a... MTSU is canceling 2 women's basketball games due to COVID-19. The school says that they have to cancel their opener against Louisville, as well as their game next Sunday against Vanderbilt. MTSU will now open the season December 3rd against Belmont. This is the second game Vandy has had canceled due to the virus. They'll now open the season December 2nd against Texas Tech.
And it was a special weekend for a Vols fan. The Saturday's game against Auburn was the 300th straight UT game that Earl Brown has attended. The streak stretches back to the 1990s. Brown joked that his next new goal will be to get to 700 games in a row. At this rate, that would take about 30 more years. Nashville SC is on to the next round after an impressive performance in their first ever MLS Cup playoff match. The team beat Inter Miami CF 3-0 on Friday in the first round. They'll take on Toronto FC tomorrow at 5 p.m. The game will be played in Connecticut since Toronto has been unable to play at home this year due to COVID-19.
And check out the projected wind gust on Wednesday morning when we are on Good Morning Nashville. We could see wind gusts anywhere between 40, potentially closer to 50 miles an hour. That is something that you'll have to watch very carefully. Damaging straight line winds could be a very big concern as we head through the day on Wednesday. We'll time out the risk for storms and, of course, what you can expect for Thanksgiving coming up next.
Well, it's Christmas time at Dollywood, and we'll let you know what they've got in the works this year coming up with Ellen Liston. Help News 2 light up the house and raise $50,000 for Ronald McDonald House Charities of Nashville.
The Ronald McDonald House is a home away from home for families of critically ill children getting life-saving care at area hospitals. Without our house, families are faced with sleeping in their cars or driving back and forth to their homes hours away.
So the more you give to help these families, the more lights you will see. Let's light up the house. Donate now at rmhcnashville.com.
It is a special time of year at Dollywood.
Yeah, Ellen Liston joins us on the phone now with more on how you can experience their Smoky Mountain Christmas Festival. Ellen, hi there. How are things at Dollywood?
Things are great. We've had great weather, have lots of new stuff going on at our award-winning Smoky Mountain Christmas Festival. I actually was there all day Saturday, and I literally was there from open to close the place down. So if I can say that and I work here, that's a pretty good sign that it's a fun time for the holidays.
Ellen, you were just telling us how that it was an emotional experience. Tell us how much this means for people in the area and for you.
Well, it's been a crazy year to say the least, and I think that what we're finding is that folks want to go do something with their families around the holidays, despite everything that's still going on. People want something that's familiar, that kind of makes them think of simpler times. And so I actually, like I said, I was at the park working with a group last Saturday, and I hadn't had a chance to see our amazing Christmas in the Smoky show. We have 3 shows indoors, so it's the first time this season that we've been able to do that. So Christmas in the Smokies has literally been going on for 30 years, and so it's kind of like a Christmas tradition for me as well. So I went in, and all these memories just came flooding back. I know the people beside me, who were socially distanced, by the way, thought, is she going to be okay? Because I'm like tearing up and everything, but so put me in the Christmas spirit, and I think that just kind of sums it up. It's something new and fun for folks to get out and do this holiday season, but it's familiar. It brings back all those great things that we want to experience at Christmas time, and we've kind of got them all wrapped up in one place. Now, Neil, I will tell you, lots of new stuff on the Christmas menu,
I saw the
which I know is the
fireworks.
best way to get you to come to Pigeon Forge. And fireworks, how about that? So if it isn't enough that we have 5 million lights throughout this gorgeous Dollywood Park, fireworks every Friday and Saturday for the next couple of weeks. And then when we go to our last 2 weeks daily schedule, starting on December 18th all the way through January 3rd, every night at 9 o'clock. So, see, Neil, you can come close the park down, too.
Oh, we showed up not in the Christmas spirit and left totally in the Christmas spirit. It's the smell of the food. It's the sounds that we talk about, the music playing around the park, the icicle displays. It's great both during the day and during the night. I sound like I'm selling it right now, Ellen, but it's true. It's just a one-stop shop. You nailed it.
Well, you know, the other thing that we have just been thrilled about is, you know, Santa... the big thing with Santa is, you know, to tell him your wishes and what the kids want for Christmas, even big kids like us. And so I know this is not going to surprise you, but Santa and Dolly are really good friends. And so he's busy this year because of all the extra stuff going on, and he wanted to take precautions so he could go on Christmas Eve. He's got a lot of work to do. So he has come down here until Christmas Eve. Dolly's got a little cabin that he's staying at, but his workshop is at Dollywood. So our new experience, the elves kind of take the kids through. They tell Santa, they do a letter to Santa, and then he's doing his nice and naughty list, and they can see if they're on the list. And he might, while they're sitting there with their backs to the workshop, Santa might take a picture with kids that way. It's just been honestly so magical, and I was a little relieved. I know, Nickelle, you don't know me as well as Neil does, but I actually am still on the nice list. Of course, I've got a couple of weeks to go, so we'll see how that works.
That's debatable. We'll get Nickelle out there.
I know it is, right?
Yes. Ellen, thank you so much for your time, and
Thank you.
Best wishes for this season.
Same to you guys. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
All right, back over to May.
All right, guys, here's what it looks like downtown Nashville. 48 degrees from our Nissan Stadium camera. Good mix of sun and clouds as you head out for lunch, but it is a little chilly. A few clouds again moving across the state. No rain to mention. In fact, we stay rain-free today and tomorrow before another front moves in and will give us some showers and potentially some strong to severe storms on Wednesday. 48 right now in downtown Columbia, sitting at 50. We're at 48 from Shelbyville back over to Winchester and McMinnville. 49 right now in Lebanon, mid-40s over towards the plateau. Now, highs I expect to be in the low 50s today from Livingston to Crossville over into Sparta and Woodbury. On that I-65 corridor, 53 from Springfield, 55 to Nashville, 54 in Lewisburg. The sky mostly sunny with a mix of sun and clouds. Still pretty chilly, especially back over to Hopkinsville, Kentucky, where you're expected to top out near 52 degrees. The average high for this time of year is 57, so today will be below that. Tomorrow, though, and Wednesday, even into Thanksgiving Day, going to be running just a little bit above average. Now, as we head into Wednesday, you really need to stay weather aware. Along and west of I-65 is a marginal risk for storms. It's a level 1 out of level 5. There's going to be a lot of things that come into play with this, but the main thing you need to know is damaging gusty winds are possible. We could see wind gusts up to 50+ miles an hour, especially in some spots. The best way to keep this all at your fingertips is to download the WKRN weather app, and that way you are the first to know when things occur. As you head through the day on Tuesday, a few clouds will move through the area. We'll call the sky partly to mostly cloudy tomorrow. And then here comes the storms on Wednesday. This is Wednesday morning at 4 a.m. when we join you right here on Good Morning Nashville. We could see some storms through parts of Hopkinsville, up and through Clarksville, and even into Aaron, some storms possible. Now, here's where things get interesting. You will see some breaks in this, and we'll have to watch how this evolves over time. But this linear feature is what we would be concerned about around 6, 7 a.m. We could see some really strong winds get in here, and that, my friends, is not good news. It could easily topple trees, weak trees, especially with 40+ mile-per-hour winds. And then we'll have to watch to see how this goes throughout the rest of the day, because another line of storms could eventually begin to develop late Wednesday afternoon, which could again spark some strong storms. There's enough spin in the air where we could see some isolated brief tornadoes. Now, that's not the main threat, but it is not zero, so we'll have to watch again how this goes. Now, as we head through the rest of the day on Tuesday, you'll see some really windy conditions, but check out Wednesday morning, anywhere between 30 to 40, potentially even closer to 50 in spots by midday. 47-mile-per-hour wind gusts possible as we head through the day Wednesday. That is very breezy. That is a skirt alert ponytail kind of day. 62 is where you should be for Thanksgiving Day as the sky turns partly cloudy, and then we'll have to watch another round of showers and storms possible through the weekend. We'll be right here after the break.
Hey Nashville, join me for the Dr. Phil Show today at 3.
Where you start the second half of the day, here are some of this morning's top stories, a couple of them for you. Today, Nashville's Rule of 8 goes into effect. Gatherings are limited to 8 people, whether in public or private.
Metro police are searching for several people involved in a drive-by shooting in the 12 South area this morning. No people were actually hit, but 2 SUVs were struck. The bullets were fired around 5:45 this morning in the area of Belmont and Rosewood. Megan.
And before you hit the door for lunch, just know the weather today going to be just fine. But as you head through the day Wednesday, we do have the risk to see a few strong to severe storms. Main threat going to be coming from damaging straight line winds. And Danielle Breezy will have an updated forecast for you today at 4 o'clock. But by Thanksgiving Day, weather looks great.
Well, we hope you have a wonderful Monday afternoon.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care.
The holidays are fast approaching, and if you're tired of yellowing teeth due to years of drinking red wine, tea, coffee, or even smoking, there's an easy solution: Power Swabs. I'm Silvia Castañeda. Joining me remotely is lifestyle consultant Stephanie Jacoli, and I know you have a special smile test to tell us about.
That's right. It's no secret. The first thing people notice really is your smile. And this test proves that 100% of the men and women we asked who they'd rather kiss said the one with the white smile, because it, makes them more attractive, more healthy, and more young. But of course, we're talking about the holidays here. I've got the perfect 5-minute fix. So I might just go with the one with the yellow smile. I'm feeling a little generous this year.
So how do Power Swabs give us a white smile?
Sure. It's so easy. The beauty of Power Swabs is that it's physically lifting and removing stains first. In step 1, it's a super easy 2-step process. And you just, circular motion for 2 minutes. You go right into step 2 where you're getting those beautiful pearly whites. What I want to point out that's special about Power Swabs is that it works on caps, veneers, crowns, bonding dentures, you name it. The biggest game changer for me is that it's rehydrating your enamel. So it's clinically proven to cause 0 to minimal sensitivity. And of course, you're seeing results after the first 5 minutes, an average of 2 shades whiter teeth and an average of 6 shades over the course of the 7-day kit.
Amazing. So how can we try Power Swabs? Do you have a special offer?
Yes, you're going to get 40% off plus free shipping. That comes with the full 7-day kit. Power Swabs is also throwing in a stain out quick stick. I love this. This is great for after you've used Power Swabs. You can expect those pearly whites to last 6 months, half a year. And this is nice for little touch-ups here and there.
Get the Take 2 Thanksgiving special now. 40% off Power Swabs, free shipping, plus the free stain out quick stick. Call 1-800-949-5103 or visit powerswabs.com. Today's Take 2 segment was sponsored by Power Swabs. For Take 2 segments, go to WKRN.com/Take 2.
You're watching WKRN News 2.